Progress.
Screen here. That's weird. Where does it go? Did it.
All right, can you guys hear me okay? I'm not gonna unmute myself because then we'll have feedback, but thanks so much for joining. We're gonna jump in and get started. Anybody else who joins us can just trickle in. And I'll just introduce, this is Rachel Hogue, for those of you who don't know Rachel. She is a listing partner and head of sales on Jose Medina and Associates.
Correct.
And her and Jose had the pleasure of teaching this class at Family Reunion. So not only are we bringing back this topic for you, but they actually got to be on a panel and taught this. So it's great information. I know some of you are like, what is a MOFIR? What is a MOFIR? So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm gonna just let Rachel take it over.
Awesome. Okay, so I hope everybody can see my screen there. My apologies, Jose Medina is not going to be coming to present today. I believe he's on another Zoom call of some kind at this point. When I left the office, he was in front of his computer. So couple.
Okay, can you guys actually see the PowerPoint? No.
It's sideways, like there's something, not all of it.
On the screen, what I'm seeing is it's only actually on the TV here, and they're seeing it behind you.
That's weird. Just look.
Huh. So give us a second. I would stop share.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can make it not the entire screen here.
It was like on you versus the PowerPoint, which is so strange.
I'm afraid to make it big though. We'll see.
Even with it small, that was fine, what you just did before that. Now it's back to the black.
Now it's just a black screen. I would
So
go back
weird.
to the small.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can still make it bigger than that, but
That's fine.
Yep, at least it is on the screen. There we go.
okay.
Perfect.
It must negate things when it goes too big or something. So interesting. All right. So MOFIRs. Oh, are you moving it?
Jump right in.
Well, I mean, I think you were moving the text or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. So we are talking about MOFIRs. Everybody can see Unlock the Mystery of a MOFIR.
Yes.
Great. Great.
Yes,
Here.
yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, it's just going to jump around and do its own thing, apparently. Here we go. Unlock the mystery of MOFIR. So a MOFIR is an acronym for Make Offer for Immediate Response. So Make Offer for Immediate Response spells out MOFIR, hence why we have to say this terrible name, if you will. Certainly not my favorite, but there you go. Now, there's actually two basic principles. MOFIRs are the application of two basic principles of lead generating marketing. You'll find MOFIRs explained in Shift. It's page 61 of Shift. So if you want further information, you can look there. It is finding the motivated tactic in lead generation model. And two principles on it. Your message must match the market. So I will tell you, as Jose Medina and Associates, we have a number of MOFIRs that we offer, and there are certain ones that we use in the market right now, and there are certain ones that we don't. For example, we have a sold promise MOFIR that if we list your property, if we don't sell it within 63 days, you are not going to owe a listing side commission. Now that is to enhance for sale by owners to list with us instead of staying for sale by owner. And that is not a thing right now. Like that's just not a MOFIR that we're using. It's just kind of sitting in the back burner for right now. It's something that we brought out in a market where there were a lot more for sale by owners that would list and incentive to get them to list with us. So it does need to match the market. Your message must also make an offer to get a response. Now, there's actually two different types, if you will. So we're kind of talking through what the MOFIR is and what a MOFIR is not. But the two different types are direct and indirect, and we'll talk, hi Mason, we'll talk more a little bit about that here in a second. But what a MOFIR is not something to keep in mind. It's not just marketing. It's not unrelated to the current market, and it's not we're the number one team with over 10 years experience. That's marketing. That is promoting that type of thing. A MOFIR is you are putting something out into the world for people to be contacting you right away for an immediate response. Now we're going to talk about the two, the direct and indirect. So a direct is, as you can see on the screen, provide a path to immediate business. So it is a call to action right now. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that you need to get out of your house. I know that you need to move down to Florida as soon as possible. I know that you don't care about how much money you get out of the house, that, you know, your motivation is more about getting down to Florida because of health issues and things like that than it is about getting the max out of this property. So I'm going to suggest to sell it now to you. So a sell it now would be, we would come in, we would buy the property from you. You don't have to do any open houses. We don't have to list the market even on the list the market on the house on the market rather. We can get information right away or get your property sold right away. As soon as you want to close within 10 days, we can make it happen. So that is, I want an immediate business from that offer. Okay. Now an indirect is, hi database. Great. I'm so glad that, you know, we stay connected. I would love to offer you a comparative market analysis of your property or a home value of your property or an equity summary of what equity you have in your home. Please contact me if you're interested in receiving this. I can even send it to you on a monthly basis. That's indirect. So I'm not expecting direct business to buy or sell a property right away, but I'm keeping in touch with them and I am still offering something of value. Does that make sense? Any questions on the difference? Your marketing strategy, your platform really should have kind of both. You should be offering both things in order really to maximize what MOFIRs are all about. Okay. That's that in a nutshell. We're not going to do a ton of time, like there's, I think maybe 15 slides or whatever. So I'm just kind of explaining what MOFIRs are, but then I will talk a little bit more about specific MOFIRs and ones that anybody could put into place. Next one, take action. So you have to study your market. You have to make sure, just like we said, that your messaging that is matching the market. So a sold promise right now is not helpful. Nobody cares about that. What is helpful right now is how do I buy and sell in the market simultaneously. So like our one move is a big one that we're promoting right now. So we will buy a new house for you. You become a cash buyer. Then we sell your property and you buy the new house from us. Just to kind of explain that, but no, to research the market, you should be talking to your clients. You can also be talking to other agents. I'm sure you guys as PC do a ton of group coaching, but also group trainings and things like that. Like, what are you hearing from people? What are you hearing from the general public? What are the hurdles in real estate right now? Those are the things that you need a MOFIR for, if that makes sense.
So like maybe, for example, I want to list my house, but I have to sell to buy. And we found the house we want, or we don't find the house we want and our house sells too fast kind of thing.
Correct.
That's what's happening now. It's not the other way. It's not the, well, we can sell our house and it's gonna be on the market for 3 months and we've got plenty of time. It's, oh my gosh, what if we don't find a house?
Right. What if we find a buyer for our house, but we don't find a house to buy? Exactly. Yeah.
We can kind of come up with an idea of something for that.
Absolutely. Yep. So researching the market number 2. So you've got to actually write the MOFIR. This one's pretty interesting when we do it. We actually just had a meeting this Monday for a new MOFIR, and it very much involves a whiteboard. So if you have a big whiteboard or a sheet of paper or whatever the case is, you're going to need to really work out some things. It's going to require numbers most likely, but really getting like thoughts and ideas and concepts from your head onto paper. To make sure that you're not missing something. You also need to think about the MOFIR all the way through the entire process. So a lot of times we think about, at Jose Medina Associates, we think about MOFIRs as a way to get the phone to ring. So it is part of your marketing strategy, because there's a lot of people that you'll tell them about the MOFIRs that you offer, and it may not be the right fit for them. In which case then we could still do a traditional aggressive marketing plan to list your house, quote unquote, traditionally, if you will. And that's totally fine, but we do want the opportunity to talk to these people. So that's why we're promoting the MOFIRs. That's why they need to match the market. It's also why we need to be able to follow the MOFIR all the way through. Somebody can say, this is a perfect situation for me. Yes, I want to do a sell it now. Where do I sign? And so you have to make sure that you have the right documentation in place and the right plan in place so that you can actually follow through with the MOFIR. That makes sense? Number 3. So we're working through these. This is research the market we talked about, figure out a path to solving the problem, and then packaging the solution. So when you package the solution, this is like, just kind of like I said before, it's a little bit more of, are they going to go the MOFIR route, or are they going to go traditional marketing route or traditional list the property route? Are they going to go the MOFIR route for a buyer, or are they going to do a traditional purchase kind of on their own? And maybe have to move twice, maybe move in with the parents for a time period, whatever the case is. So making sure that there are options there. But this is where number 3, we really wanted to test it. So there are times that we will know that there's a MOFIR that we're wanting to present to the team, but instead of just blanket statement saying, hey, everybody, we've got this new MOFIR, we will trial test it with a couple people. So maybe we'll let certain agents know that it's available, or we'll keep our ear to the ground basically to see if there's a situation that arises that this particular MOFIR would be good for. We talk to them about it. We have a conversation with that client and see if it will really work out. So you do want to test it out a bit before just blanket statementing it to your entire database or all of your people and all of that. So we've been there, done that. So learn from our mistakes, if you will. And then number 4 is market the message. So you've got to let people know that you have this amazing MOFIR. Don't call it a MOFIR to people outside of Keller Williams. They will have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. It's also, in my opinion, a terrible name. So make sure that you are, but once you know that it works and that it's a smooth process, then market the heck out of it. Like, you want people to know that you have this. Like, you want people to be telling other people that you have this program, and that's why they should be working with you as their real estate agent. So make sure you're really marketing it out and getting it out there. Any questions so far? No, it's a lot. I see there's a chat, but I didn't necessarily pull up the chat. I think there's nothing there. It's good. Except now I can't get rid of it. This is hilarious. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. So does anybody here, like, that's listening or kind of tuned in, does anybody use MOFIRs? Or think maybe you do have a MOFIR?
I don't think I have personally.
Okay. Does anybody offer like comparative market analysis or anything? And it doesn't have to be automated. It can be one that you're just saying, hey, to my sphere, my top 50 or whatever, hey, I know that there's a lot of equity in a lot of houses, I'd love to let you know what equity you have in your home. You guys offer any of those?
And it could be like on a postcard in a farming neighborhood. It could be, I'm gonna say Ken in particular sends out an introduction to the neighborhood when he sells a house of who the buyer is, and the MOFIR in there, which you maybe didn't even know, was contact me if you want to see how your home compares.
Well, if
Yeah,
you
Tara and I do something very similar as well. And then we also market to, we farm our neighborhood as well and offer those types of suggestions. So that's good.
I was gonna say, if you don't, that's a great place to start in kind of the MOFIR world. That's an indirect versus a direct. So that can be a great way to start kind of dipping your toe in the pond of MOFIRs, if you will. The one last thing I want to talk about specifically, kind of generally, I guess, rather, with MOFIRs is taking action. So abandon MOFIRs that no longer work. And by abandon, again, I said, we put sold promise kind of on the back burner. It doesn't mean that it won't ever come back into play. But it's not something that we're promoting or regularly talking to people about, or even going to listing appointments necessarily with. Now, we always have it. We can offer it if we need to. If I have a chance to talk to her for sale by owner and it would fit for them, then maybe it's a conversation. But if there are ones that no longer work, or ones that either the market grew out of, or maybe your team grew out of, or you did, or you just don't want to offer it anymore, make sure you get rid of those and, abandon all marketing and stuff on that. So just something to think about. Just because you have a MOFIR now doesn't mean you have to have it forever. One thing that we have, the very first MOFIR that Jose ever started was easy exit listings. So people we write directly on our contract easy exit, so they can, if they don't want to do a 3-month contract with us, if they hate us after a week, they can fire us at any point in time. So like that is a MOFIR. That's something that we do promote, saying, hey, you're not locked into a 6-month contract with us. I know there have been brokerages in the past that would generally do that and just wouldn't release you from the contract. So that's the very first one at Jose Medina and Associates. The one I really want to promote to most of you guys today, because it's one thing to say, well, sure, we'll go buy your house, but like, how many of us can just go buy someone a house? And then when they sell theirs, they'll buy it from us. So that's not super likely. But one that we use, and when we were on the panel with Family Reunion, there were a couple other guys on that panel as well from different parts of the US. And we do a hero benefit program, or it can be a community connection kind of thing. Figure out who in your life, who are the people that mean something to you. Like we have certain, like nurses, veterans, first responders, people like that are part of this program. So we appreciate the service that they provide to our community. We call it a hero benefit. And what we've done is, so not only do we provide something on the list side or the buy side, sale side or buy side, depending on if they're a buyer or seller or possibly both, but we've also gone to our vendors. So people that we have good relationships with and we get lots of referrals from, and we talk to them about what would you be willing to offer. Go to your title company, go to your lender that you talk to, go to your home inspector that you use a lot, or the 3 that you recommend, right, Gina? And see what they'd be willing to put in, like make it like a coupon book of sorts, and just say, hey, I appreciate that you're a nurse and that you, especially in the past few years, have just done a ton to help our community. And as a result, here is a book of savings that potentially has, $1,000 worth of savings for you, or whatever that happens to be. But anybody can do that. Like, that's just a matter of you having good connections with your vendors and things like that, and creating a book or something. It could be a PDF. I don't care. We used to have one, actually had an actual coupon book. It's a flip book now electronically, but definitely a place to start. So I highly recommend having something like that. And it could be whoever you want. Like if you are married to a police officer, then maybe police officers are that's kind of the key target group. Maybe it's teachers, whatever the case is. Any questions on that?
I've also seen agents and teams do the whole, whenever someone does real estate with me, buy or sell, I'll give back 10% of my commission to a charity of your choice, or one of these 3 charities that I work with, you can pick which one it goes to.
Yep.
Kind of a thing.
Yep. Indeed. It's a good one. Used to see that a lot more.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you brought that up.
think
Yeah.
that There's still a couple agents I know that does.
Yeah. I know that was big at Remax too with the Children's Hospital Network and stuff, so. Do you want me to get into other MOFIRs or what additional information? Are you
Yeah, I
looking for?
think I'm gonna say our quiet group has it's been lately. I can only just imagine what the questions are, and so whoever wants to unmute yourself and jump in, but I can say what people are thinking is, what are some other ideas? Like, what are some other things that we could do as in particular, not on a team, not part of someone, or I'm not enough of an agent in my business yet that I have this big marketing budget that I can spend a lot of money. So what are some things like that? And I know, Kim, I can see you unmuted yourself. Did you have a question or thought?
Oh, yeah, I just unmuted because I was thinking about what you said about the 10%, because I'd like to do something like that because I'm involved. I'm on a couple of boards and nonprofits and I'm involved in different things, but I'm also like, I'm kind of worried about how much it, this sounds horrible, but how much it cuts into your pay. Do you just, at the end of the day, does it really, because I'm already paying out to the brokerage and, I like all that, but if I guess I just have to know that I'm going to cap this year and work that, make sure I keep working hard to make sure I cap, and that brings that much business in.
Throwing that example out there, it could be 3%, it could be $250, it could be
Right.
any number that you choose. I think it's just the attention grabbing idea for a group of people that you're doing something.
Well, and the key is to let people know that. Like if you are doing any sort of donation, and even if you don't put like a certain number on it or percentage on it, but like, sell with me or buy a home with me and I donate to Habitat or Humane Society or da. But like the whole point of the MOFIR is make sure that you are marketing the MOFIR so that people now are like, oh, I want to call her to represent us because she does support these nonprofits, if you will.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you're not necessarily stuck into a certain amount either. I mean, like you could just do a blanket donation at the end of the year or something based on how many closings you had or something like that, or do it once a month or whatever. Some other programs we have. So we have a, that don't actually cost, I guess, any money. So we do a love it or leave it. So a buyer, when they're purchasing a property, they can, there's actually like an additional commission potentially if they want to love it or leave it, if they want to be part of that program, it's a 3% commission on when they purchase the property. Now, if the seller's already offering a 3%, and yes, I know all the NAR lawsuit stuff, keep all that stuff in mind, but if the seller's already offering a 3% commission, then it doesn't actually cost them anything to be in this program. And what it does then is it says, I think I like this house, but it's also a crazy market and I'm having to make a decision really fast and I don't love that. So if I don't love my house in 6 months, for this particular term, it's for 1 year, then we will sell their property for no listing agent commission. So we will talk to them about potentially, still paying for a buyer's agent commission when they sell the house. Again, NAR lawsuit. And at the same time, like we're not going to charge them to sell their house if they want to sell it within a year. If they do a 3.5% commission when they purchase the property, then they can extend that for 24 months or 2 years. So it costs you nothing, quote unquote. I mean, it could cost you a commission down the road. And also at the same time, like it's allowing you, one, make sure you're promoting the heck out of it so people know that you're offering it. And two, it allows you good customer service to your clients. So they're going to be raving fans. They're going to refer people to you. They're going to be like, I can't believe that, they would offer this to me. And, they sold my house 18 months after I bought it because I was part of this program that they offer. And I didn't have to pay them at all because this just wasn't the house for me or it didn't work out or I had to move for my job or whatever.
And like you said, if you're not marketing it and you're not getting a good amount of return, then it defeats the purpose. You're not trying to do this for one person, then you are losing money. But it makes it worth it because imagine how many leads you get from something like this that never asked to participate in the leave it later,
100%.
and that pays for the one that does.
Right. Absolutely.
You've got to get a plan. So this is one of those things where, yes, I want to do this. If you don't put a full, like Rachel said, a full plan together before you launch, then don't do it. Don't do it.
You need to do your homework before you do the promotion of it, for sure. Yes.
And then get out there and promote it in every way you can, make flyers, pass them out, social media, bring those things to your open houses with you, bring them on every listing appointment, bring it everywhere you're at.
Exactly.
And then you can get that, because if you aren't getting a lot of business from the idea of someone being curious about it, then it defeats the purpose.
Yeah. What I think too, like to Kim's point, it's very much like find something that you're passionate about and how can you kind of pull into or talk into that point. So if it's, nonprofits that you're on boards for, then maybe it is a donation at every closing that you have. If it's, you're married to a teacher and you're very passionate about helping them because they help our community and our youngsters so much, like why not do a promotion for them? And so you can send letters and all sorts of things and just say, hey, I've got a teacher program. It doesn't have to be for multiple groups of people, but it's, it saves you $500 on your commission if you buy or sell with me. Like, again, it doesn't have to, I guess it costs you money at the end, but it's not money that you had anyway. But the key is having the plan, knowing what the MOFIR is, what does the market need, creating a MOFIR around it, making sure that you have a system in place so that if they do use it, that you can implement it easily. And then again, abandon it, kind of like it's on the screen now, abandon it if it's not working for that particular market. Some other ones we have is this one kind of costs some money. So we have one, it's called HELP, Home Enhancement Loan Program. So we will actually, if you have good relationship with the vendors, this may not cost you anything. So what happens is we almost like advance, if a seller needs new countertops, let's say, and they have a nice house and everything, but they've got these stupid Formica countertops and they really should have quartz in a house like this or what Corian or whatever. We will then kind of give them a loan in advance so that they put new countertops in, list the property, sell it, then at closing, the vendor's getting paid. So if you're working with a good vendor, if you have good relationships with them, again, obviously for the Hero Benefit coupon book, you could utilize it that way. You can also utilize it in some sort of like help program just like that. Helping the property to improve itself so they can actually sell it for more or sell it faster, get more eyes on it, that type of thing, so that they can sell it for more and then you just pay the vendor at closing. Questions on that one? It's a little bit different.
I think that could also work for the house that is, let's say, built in 1923, and it's at a price point that it's going to be an FHA buyer. And there's some things that have to be done for it to, pass the appraisal without any flagged items.
Correct.
And then they don't have the funds to do it.
Correct.
And so therefore, we need to get these GFIs installed. We got to get this peeling paint taken care of before we even list. So this way we can sell to an FHA buyer.
Absolutely. And it's probably going to be cheaper doing it proactively than reactively as well. Yep. But yeah, if you have either you're fronting the money up front to your tradesmen, if you will, or, if you have a good relationship with them and they know you're quote unquote good for it, they can be willing to get paid at closing, which is kind of helpful too.
How are you guaranteeing, like, are they signing some kind of a note or something that says at closing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then just comes off the HUD.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then if the house never sells, what does that become? A lien on the property?
Yes.
Yeah, so make sure you guys, if you're doing something like that, you've got to have the right contract in place that shows this is gonna become a mechanic's lien on a property if we don't sell.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those are the most that we have, the ones we use the most, I should say. My encouragement, just like I was at Family Reunion, was more so about getting your CMAs up and running, offering those to people. And that can even be a phone call. Great job, farming areas and things like that, but just even a follow-up phone call to a postcard that was sent out and just say, hey, not sure if you received my postcard yet or not, offering an equity value so that you can see, what your home is worth. I'm sure you have a portfolio of income and different things. So, what is your home worth in today's market? Would that be information that would be helpful for you to know? Who doesn't want to know that? And then if they say yes, then you can also follow up with, is there an automatic email? Do you have a CRM that supports that you can be doing that monthly as well? Again, indirect. So direct versus indirect. Indirect is very, I'll say real estate in general, I think very much started in the indirect world and has, as we've gotten more maybe aggressive and more marketing minded, has moved into the direct MOFIRs where you're looking for business right away. It can be great value calls, like to people in your database, your top 50, anything like that, letting them know about a MOFIR that we offer. And maybe it's not something that matters to them in that moment, but when they're at church on Sunday talking to somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, I was just talking to my friend, my realtor, and they were just telling me about this one move program. Like, I feel like that could be perfect for you. Here, you have to call them. So you never know what kind of connections and stuff you're making.
Thoughts and questions, guys?
Nope.
Well, I'm trying to think of something like when you do your marketing, obviously you guys do a great job. You do a lot of social media. Is there anything else you use besides that?
It can
Or
be
is
a
that just
mailer. It could be a mailer. It could be, just like I said, a value call. So every agent on our team has a top 50. So sometimes it's, this is the value call. We're calling about this particular MOFIR to our database.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways to get it out for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Social media is a great one just because it goes to your people, but then also somebody might tag someone in it that this would be a perfect opportunity for. So I will say MOFIRs can get a little bit tricky explaining it all in social media. So being careful about that as well.
And don't you think you want to give enough information to draw someone's attention, but then you want them to reach out to you because what good does it do if they only saw it, liked it, and passed by?
Yep. You want to call to action.
Right.
Whole point. Yep.
Okay.
Because even so if you put it on social media and somebody tags someone in it, you might reach out to the person who that tagged that person and say, hey, I noticed you tagged Tina. Any chance, would you be willing to give me Tina's information that I could reach out to her directly and answer any questions she might have on this?
Okay. It seems like something I'd want to brainstorm with another agent to make sure I wasn't getting in the weeds on something that I couldn't handle. Like you said, with the research, like I want to make sure whatever I come up with isn't something that would be biting off more than I can chew.
I agree with that completely.
Okay.
Like we will do we had 2 agents, Jose and I, in the kind of brainstorming session we had on Monday. So yes, absolutely. Get with your people here, or get with, somebody market center, 100%. Great idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good questions.
What else? Anybody else? Well, let me ask you guys a question. Who's going to try to come up with something to do? You all came here today and spent your time, so now that you know what that means, who's thinking I want to venture into finding an idea to actually implement? Anybody?
I know I keep on muting, but I definitely do. I definitely want to do that. And I even like your idea about the teachers because I date a guy who's a teacher. My brother's a teacher. I have a lot of friends who are teachers in Plain Local and Green. I coach in Green. So I feel like that's a really good natural one, just thinking about how to get it out there to them. I mean, other than social media, it's a simple thing, but your example, I was like, oh man, that's a great one. So yeah.
Teachers, and I think teachers deserve a lot.
I think that honestly, I think that right now today they deserve more than nurses. Sorry, nurses, but nurses get paid a lot right now, and I know they did a lot during the pandemic, and they're great and everything. But man, teachers compared to that, the pay is that's a great offer.
Well, and I know somebody that was doing something kind of like this just for teachers, and their wife works in Lake, and so they were able to send letters to all of the teachers. Like they were able to get that database of information or whatever. And so
okay.
you may have, knowing the people that you might have the right resources to get that information to them.
Okay, thanks.
course. Anybody else implementing something, putting a MOFIR into place?
I just wanted to say thank
Uh-oh.
you as I'm listening to this, because I had a whole, gives me reassurance because it's something I'm stealing from family reunion, that me and Tara, we just
Oh, you're cutting in and out, Mike.
going out and we're working with local businesses, and we're story of my life.
Wait, Mike, start over.
But
You...
I guess that we're doing something like a coupon book.
Okay. For heroes? Or
Am I good
who's,
or no?
who's your target? Oh, he might have muted. Nope. He's doing something like a coupon book. Got it.
Yeah, okay.
Good. I like it.
Pretty sure we're good.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? Comments? Ms. Gina?
Well, then guys, we will get out of here early today. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Rachel. That was fantastic information. I will be following up to see what everyone is gonna come up with as a great idea. And I also like Kim's idea of collaborating with other agents and kind of coming up with, maybe getting coffee, sitting down with 2, 3 agents and collaborating on an idea. It makes it much easier and not such a big thing to try to do on your own. And then there's no reason that you can't do the same thing together. Obviously, the team does it and it doesn't, there's plenty of business to go around. We all know different people and so on, so.
Right. Indeed. All right. Well, happy MOFIRing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I gotta figure, oh.